Yo, what's going on, football fans? It's your boy Lolo. I am here on the stoop, and I am not as excited as my voice might seem, but I am excited to be back live with you guys and live talking with you all. And if you can hear some sniffling in the background, it happens to be my co-host for today, who's feeling a little under the weather, just a little allergies, no COVID for you. K-Tech, what's going on, brother?
Oh, what's up, guys? What's
I
up, guys?
feel like my voice is betraying my sentiment. I feel
Yeah,
like I sound very excited, and I didn't know what was coming out of my mouth because I am not. I had taken some time off from the club, and I decided not to watch the last match. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch highlights. I didn't watch anything. So I thought, here we go, Europa League. It's not the Europa League's fault, right? I could watch the Europa League. So here I am, and we get set up today. What was that team selection? Like, what? You and I both sent out two different,
very different,
two very different. I was just looking at it here. If I can pop it up. So here's the one that I saw, which was a lineup of this sort of. To me, it looks like a Star Wars plane type thing with like this line of people down the middle.
A little X-wing action going on.
Yeah, like an X-wing or something like that. So you got Pepe up front, Odegaard behind him as I don't know.
It's weird. And looking at this, I thought maybe you would see like a more general, like Xhaka would be falling back. Partey and Ceballos would go up. Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka would most likely be. I mean, I've never seen Emile Smith-Rowe play wing back. We've seen Saka do it, but initially I was like, why would we be so defensive unless this was just some sort of like sneaky offensive selection? And then 5 minutes later, I was like, oh, yep, that's why. Maybe that's why we would be so defensive.
But wait, he went over. You're saying that's overly defensive because that back three essentially creates a back 4 or 5, right?
Yeah.
When you have a back 3.
Yeah.
But you have Mari, Holding, and Chambers. Chambers was up the pitch most of the night.
Yeah,
I saw Holding as a striker at some point.
Yeah.
It wasn't even off a set piece. He was just up there waiting for the headers that never came. So I'm like, so you guys are putting everything on Pablo Mari to be back there to fix everything and to stop everything.
Yep.
So I don't understand.
I mean, I had shared another formation that was similar but not quite as drastic as
let
that.
Me see if I get it. Oh yeah. So then minutes later, you pop this one up. I don't know why yours is so tiny.
But even again, like, why would you have Odegaard as the 9 and Pepe out wide when clearly one is a striker and one is a playmaker, right? So neither of them made sense to me. And then as we watched, I think Lawler made the great observation that they just looked like chickens running around with their heads cut off, and that is an insult to chickens without heads. And like you're saying,
with or without heads,
right? And that's sort of to your point, is that Holding's all the way up, and everyone's everywhere. Man, fucked. It's like we do this. We've been doing this twice a week for a couple months now, where we just say, I don't fucking know. Like, how can we make sense of what Arsenal are doing at the moment, right?
I don't know. What's going on, Mr. Tom? What's going on? Jimmy's here. Anders here. All the Stoop crew. What's going on, Zach, Carl, you guys? Listen, Mr. Tom, you watch a lot of football. You know a lot of football. Jimmy, all you guys do. If you watched the match tonight, tell us your thoughts on like, what the hell was that? What the hell was going on with Arsenal? Because Villareal, I would give them full-on credit if they were incredible. But they were
what they are,
They were exactly what they are.
They're the 5th place team in Spain.
Yeah.
Whatever. Now, having said that, as a fan of the 9th place team in England, that is what it is. I do agree with Mr. Tom. It's the best possible loss for Arsenal. You know, like, and I was saying that
it's better than a 1-0, right?
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
Much better
Having
than
an
a
away
1-0.
goal.
Yeah.
And I was saying that in the group chat, like, okay, whatever, we're down 2-0. We just need one. And it happened. You know, you can argue the penalty all you want, but seeing the way decisions have gone against us in recent years, let alone weeks and months, I don't. So I'm not gonna worry about it. We're getting one go our way, so it happens.
Yeah.
Zero confidence in Pepe to finish it, by the way.
I was like, oh my God, here we go. I have more confidence with him outside the box than inside the box. Because he had an opportunity earlier, didn't he? Where he got like 2 chances, 2 shots. One was saved.
I kind of feel like the penalty was our first shot on goal.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I think I'm thinking of another game.
Yeah.
Another game that I'm watching.
It was so as confident as I was watching the game, even being down 2-0, I was like, all right, whatever, you know, the ball is mainly in Villareal's defensive third. We didn't have a shot on goal. And that just we're getting so used to that, right? Like feeling confident about possession without even an attempt. It's crazy.
Yeah. But Unai Emery he's sure he's confident in letting us have the ball, dropping 8 back, and knowing that we aren't disciplined enough in the back, no matter who we play back there, to stop any counterattack. And if they have a proper counterattack, we're likely to foul than to actually be able to stop them. So I think I counted it early on, even before the goal. We were on a somewhat quick break, not a fast break, but somewhat of a quick break. And I counted there were 8 defenders or 8 Villareal players back there, and just yellow shirts, you know, not even including the keeper. So and that's where my confidence in Arsenal was just, I'm like, I know for a fact we can't break that down. Yeah. I know we can't break that down.
And not even just on a counterattack, we can't break it down. We can't break it down when we've got 9 players to their 8.
Yeah, once we bring all of our guys up, we still cannot break that down.
Yeah.
And so bringing me back to the original lineup. So the lineup, I looked at it and I'm thinking, okay, let's put yours up here. So we have Odegaard, Pepe, Smith Rowe, Saka, and Ceballos. 5 players that we could classify as creative players, right? Wouldn't you say they're tricky on the ball? They're not direct. Sure. They're so I'm going. We're missing a talisman, and maybe that's why Rob Holding was up as striker at one point. But we're missing a central focus here. And at one point, I remember the ball was over on the left side in the second half, and I think maybe it came to Xhaka, and he turns and immediately turns around and passes back. And I noticed there were 3 of our players all on the other side of the pitch. Nobody in the middle. 5 Villareal players in the middle. Nobody in the middle. And we were in their half. And I'm going like, maybe that's a problem with having too many creative players and no striker.
Isn't that where are you saying that maybe that's where like Partey should have been? Like someone to be an outlet for Xhaka and be a pivot and to just like get it.
No, I'm saying one because I think it was I think Martinelli was already in, so it was over here, which means it was Aubameyang, Emil Smith Rowe, and who else was up there? Aubameyang, Emil Smith Rowe, and Pepe. No, Pepe came out. No, Odegaard and Saka came out. I don't know. I don't remember who it was. I just remember seeing 3 players all together on the other side of the box.
Yeah.
Like way up there. What I'm saying is there was nobody in the center doing any
striker business.
I was missing Lacazette, in all honesty, and his like hold up play in the center. I felt like we constantly had to look outwards.
Speaking of like needing a 9 to finish. Aubameyang, my God, and the ball from Partey to him too was just, it was perfect. And you'd think
it was
if
one good pass he had,
yeah, and you just had he not been missing time, does he bury it?
Yeah,
and I think
most
likely
and
does.
Also, he slipped. You saw him slip
A little bit, yeah.
That shot, but also he. I feel like a big problem with Arteta, with Arteta, is that once again, I feel like he tries to win a match before the match has ever been played. And even when it's not working, he won't make any changes.
Yeah, that was a big one today, I think.
So Aubameyang coming in, what time did he come in?
Late.
15 minutes left?
Yeah, probably. I would say after the 70th minute. And we were talking about in the group chat, it was like, when does he decide to change? Like that this is clearly isn't working,
Look, and then, like for me, what the fuck are you doing? We're at the 90+5 minute, and you take out Emil Smith-Rowe and Nicolas Pepe for Willian and Mohamed El Neni. Now, okay, Willian went in and took that corner kick or that free kick.
Cool, I could have done that
end the game. Cool, fine.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like you or I could have played the ball in.
Pepe could have ran, done it, and maybe had another play.
Yeah.
But just for me, like, what are they supposed to do here?
Nothing. Not concede.
Aubameyang came on in the 85th minute. 85th minute. Like, do you think he's ready? Do you think he's ready to do anything? And I know he should be, but he is just coming off of a sickness, an illness, all that. Not quite, probably not 100% fit.
No.
But if he's fit enough to be on the bench,
you think he should get more than 5 minutes? Up. Yeah, and again, like, if he has 15 more minutes of game time under his legs, does he bury that ball? Maybe.
I think so.
Maybe.
At least he's had a feeling. That's where I thought.
It was basically his first touch, right?
The slip came into play.
Yeah.
Was his feet, like he wasn't used to the pitch. Had he been on for 15 minutes, he would have slipped a few times.
Yeah.
And no.
Realized. Yeah.
And realized.
It's it's getting hard. It's almost like Chelsea fans feel hard, and I know they're few and far between at this point, feel that it's hard to defend Timo Werner, but we're getting late in the year where if we don't get the result in the second leg, it's going to be really hard to defend Arteta. And I'm not Arteta out. It's just going to make his summer so much harder, especially if we don't, bring someone in big that will fix a lot of these problems. Results like this, the Fulham result, like they'll be, it's going to be like, what, like, how does he defend his job?
Yeah. Look, sorry to say that to all you Arsenal fans at Arsenal, but your team feels so gray. But win the shit and the whole season is saved. And that's kind of the problem.
Yeah, 100%.
Listen,
I totally agree.
It's like if you have a boss who's always telling you, if your boss is terrible and gives you less and less time to accomplish anything, and you keep just getting by and doing it, nobody will ever figure out that the boss is shit because you made it work. Like this to me would be,
it looks good on paper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
When like really, and that's what I know. I know a lot of Tottenham fans who, when Mourinho was in, a lot of Tottenham fans who are anti-Mourinho were hoping that they didn't win against City. Now, once Mourinho was gone, then they wanted the trophy and everything. But they were like, Mourinho's been terrible. Here he goes. He's going to win us a trophy, and he'll be on for the next 10 years. And I know some Arsenal fans who are feeling that way as well about Arteta, who are so against it. And they're having to battle their inner longing for a trophy and longing for Arsenal success because of their hatred of this manager.
To hate Arteta is crazy. To be frustrated, I understand. But I would take getting into Champions League next year, whether it's via trophy through the Europa League or just finishing fourth, fine. I don't care if we win the trophy this year. I mean, obviously we have to, right? But if you had said that in the beginning of the season, I wouldn't have cared whether it was winning Europa or finishing fourth. I probably thought finishing fourth would be the better result. But at this point, let's get in and let's see how the summer plays out. And again, like, the players just have to play better sometimes too, you know?
Yeah.
Like we can talk about the lineups all we want, but to be fair, like, an Arsenal side, regardless of the lineup they play, should be beating Villareal.
Exactly.
And like Mr. Tom saying, some people have said in the chat, 2-1 away in Europe is not horrendous. I don't care how it happens.
No.
I think we'll be pretty good on the home leg, but
listen, we did poorly in the last
against Prague.
Tier.
Slavia Prague.
In the last
round.
What am I thinking of? Round.
Yeah.
It's like in the last tier, in the last cake.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? Cakes? Yeah. So what's going on, Chris? He says, Man United versus Arsenal final. We'll put a glass eye to sleep. I don't know. Man United.
Not the Man United we saw today.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Of course, I think you may have a point with the way Man United tends to play against big six or big clubs. Those do tend to be kind of boring matches, but I think they would play us like
not in a final.
They would play us like they were playing Fulham or somebody and absolutely score a bunch of goals.
I think they would play us like they're playing Barcelona in the Champions League final. Like they're just and fair. We should not be afraid of them either. We need to go for it and just do what we did last season to City and Chelsea and Liverpool in the FA Cup build up and the Community Shield.
He says this time next week, if we're discussing a 1-0 Arsenal win, tonight will be forgotten. Yeah, 100%. And I'll forgive Arteta for bringing on Willian and El Nene at the 95th minute and all that. Zach says Arsenal are much better away than home, so this was the game they had the advantage. Yes and no.
They took advantage then.
I do feel that when Arsenal's back is up against the wall, they play better. Like Slavia Prague. Mm-hmm. Our backs were against the wall, and we came out and looked like a completely different team. We had shades of that team. With shades of that team today.
I think what Zach is referencing is in the Premier League we've been much better away than home. Yeah. But listen, in Europe away you want the goal. We got the goal. It didn't look great. Doesn't matter. We've got another week, and I don't know who we have this weekend, but who cares? I certainly don't. As long as we just put the best players out next Thursday.
Yeah. Rob says, Lolo, I cursed you the morning after the great night of drinking. I actually said to myself, I am never drinking again. Rob, the great night of drinking for you was the great 9 a.m. drinking for me and Mark. That was rough. And Axel is getting on you, Cantac wearing an Arsenal shirt.
That's because I think if you look at the next one, he's really wanting to see me in the Hosen. And I will say for anyone who's seen me in my later Hosen, Rachel, my girlfriend, took a not so flattering profile picture from the last time I was in that. And oh boy, I don't know. We're gonna need maybe some personal trainers to come in before that happens again.
Well, I can get you on a diet, man. I'm down like 20 pounds.
Mick Ultras?
Yep. Still beer. No, I haven't had one of those in a while. I'm finding new ways. It's that hard kombucha is killing me, though. Gotta cut that out. Mr. Tom says, to be fair, most teams have been better away this season for some reason. Yeah, that's weird. The whole home and away thing is much different without fans, especially in European competitions and derbies. But imagine like Villareal against Arsenal right now. Their fans are crazy. That place would have been buzzing. 1 goal, 2 goals.
Yeah.
The ones that they missed. So here's where I do feel good about this result is I feel that it could have been 6-0, 4-0, at least 3-0, because yes, we had more possession and we were on them a lot more. They had far more chances, and I feel like they just missed them, or just like the last little. Or
and hear me
Leno
out.
made us.
We have the greatest young keeper in the world.
The greatest young keeper in the world. Sure. How old is he?
Oh, like 18 probably, based on the mistakes he does make. No, I thought he played really well. You know, like there was a moment where I thought he was going to give a penalty away, and he did it, and he got back in. Yeah. And he made a save right after that.
That was good. I didn't see the replay, so I didn't understand how he didn't hit him. I thought I was like, that's a penalty. That's a penalty.
He came sliding in and used his like druidish like elemental powers to stop himself. Yeah, mid knee slide, got up and backtracked.
What's going on, Ben Ireland? Part of the Stoop crew in the house. Just a quick hi, guys, at work. Commiserations tonight, Lolo. The Whites are waiting for your allegiance. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion.
No, it's a lot more.
You're done. If Cranky doesn't sell, you're out. That's fine. I don't blame you.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's see what Zach says. If Arsenal go out of the Europa League, is Arteta's time up? The last two Arsenal managers both qualified for Europe through the league in the seasons they were sacked. Something Arteta has yet to do. That's a good point, Zach. Zach.
I mean, we're going back to Wenger with that.
I mean, he's got a good point that, yeah, Wenger got him into Europe. It wasn't Champions League, though.
Same
and we
Emery.
Said that's not enough. And then Emery got us into Europe, and we said that's not enough. So why should Arteta be given more time?
Because I don't think
they got it through the league as well, you know?
I don't think there was a clear direction the clear direction under Wenger at the end was that we were going down. I mean, it just wasn't working with him anymore, and it broke my heart. And Emery, there was just no direction, you know, like he treaded water, and then I think we're looking at sort of the ripple effect of him through Arteta right now, and Arteta's cut some dead weight. You know, and we've been much better this year than we were last year. So
I don't know, man. It's getting harder and harder. Like I haven't gone hardcore on the Arteta out because I do not like the constant switching of managers.
Yeah,
I think Arteta will be a good manager eventually. I think he has it in him to be a good manager. I don't know if he has it yet. So it's kind of like having a bad, like buying a stock at a pretty, like it's a stock that's moving up, and you buy it, and as soon as you buy it, it goes down to like half of what you bought it for. So now, it's going up a couple pennies a day, and you're like, do I just sell or do I double down to make, like, how do we, or do we just get rid of it?
The only real alternative is, should we have stayed with Emery longer? I think most Arsenal fans would say no. And who could we bring in to replace Arteta? Like, could we have paid £70 million for Nagelsmann? We could have tried, but it wasn't going to work.
Maybe.
Like who out there do we think is just like an immediate upgrade who's available? And should Emery have stayed? Because that's really, I think that's the choice. And
all right,
I
Jimmy.
don't think so.
So quick side note, big up to my Stoop crew. I love seeing that you guys, Ben Ireland pops in. You guys are all saying what's up to Ben, Mr. Tom, Jimmy, everybody. I love seeing that. I love seeing the little community that we're building here with the Stoop crew. So a little side note, Jimmy, Bremner's Ghost here, talking about tomorrow night happy hour, says he's stocked up on German beer for this week's happy hour, Warsteiner. Great taste and only 4.8%, so good for a session. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but Cantac knows a lot about beer. Cantac, what are your thoughts on Warsteiner?
I mean, I'm currently drinking Old German from Pennsylvania. Varsteiner's good, but you know, at 4.8%, you're probably not going to pass out by the end of it. You know, and I think isn't that the goal? After
That's the goal.
That's the goal. After 5 hours of this, is to just pass out and not remember any of it. I think that's.
I don't know. I think he's trying. Well, I think he's trying to do more than 5 of them. So he's stocked up to me.
No, I mean 5 hours.
Oh, 5 hours
of this. You probably get about 25 beers at 4.8%, and then it's just a lot of empty calories and carbs. You know,
25.
Just go for bang for buck. As far as German beers are concerned, you know, I'm a big Augustiner fan. Varsteiner's good. Hacker Shore. Yeah, I don't think this is a beer video, but we can get into American craft if you'd like.
Hey, it's better than Arsenal these days. So, Bobby Lala, what's up, man? Stoop crew in the house. Arteta's too good for Arsenal. At what? Knitting?
Yeah, man, like picking.
At what, Bobby?
Picking very esoteric lineups.
Like they'll never see this one coming.
He could, right? Exactly. He could be if he had Man City or Bayern Munich's team, right? Like yeah, then everyone's too good for Arsenal, but.
He's probably got his family on some betting website where they're like, look, there's 100-to-1 odds that you pick this lineup. And he's like, okay, go put 50 euros on that one. Not enough that we get noticed, but here we go. And then Jimmy, come on. I mean, it's funny, but Arsenal fans say no more than the Giggsy Birds. Yeah, I had to Google what Mr. Ben was... okay. Sorry. This is them talking to each other. Okay. Arteta will need 5 years to learn how to manage players. See, and I think you're on to something here, Bandy, where I don't know about the whole 5 years, but I think you're on to something about the managing of people, the managing of players. He's clearly, players get annoyed with him, and players, I've seen that players don't really like him as a person, as a coach. Maybe as a person they're fine with him, but as a manager, and it may have to be something to do with his age, where he's trying to assert his dominance or something. I don't know, because I'm not in the locker room hearing everything, but it does seem like, as far as tactics and all the numbers side of the game, he seems like he's got a good mind for that, but I don't know if the players are playing for him. I don't know if they're just mad. So I think it could be a player management, a people management thing. What do you think?
But what is? I mean, I would like to hear Bondi sort of elaborate on that, because, and I agree with Zach.
He doesn't want to hear from me.
No. I also agree with Zach.
And just to clarify, he got Scotch for the passing out stage. Where's Zach on here?
Zach, I've said that.
Hair looks like a Lego hairpiece.
I've said that before, and I love that. As far as man management, I feel like you have to specify what that means, right? Like, how can any of us know that, right? Like, he benched Aubameyang and it worked in that, like, a month and a half ago or whatever it was. Doesn't seem like
it worked for one game. He scored a brace against a terrible team.
Well, then he had fucking malaria afterwards. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that has nothing to do with anything. Like, it worked for that game, right? He put the captain down. The team responded.
Yeah.
So, like, I would just like to know specifically what.
All right, Bandy, that's on you. What do you mean by, what was it? Player management, managing players.
Like managing their fitness, managing their
Cantax having a hard time understanding you. And to go back to beer,
allergies.
To go back to beer, Axel says Vostina is the German champagne of beer, and he's German.
There's German champagne of beers.
Chris asks, do you get Lowenbrau or Kronenberg in the States? That is top beer. Yes, we do. We had it at Wade's, didn't we?
We get both. No, we didn't have Kronenberg at Wade's.
I thought we had that.
But we got Lowenbrau both. Lowenbrau was sort of like this back in the 70s. was like a thing, and then just sort of got passed off for some reason as like a cheap.
Good night,
cheap
Ben.
beer.
Stoop crew. Say good night.
Later, Ben.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that Lovenbrow was sort of
Lolo brow.
Yeah, was big in the 70s, and then sort of just got like put into the Schlitz Schaefer category of yellow fizzy water, even though it's more than that, but that is what it is.
Okay, Cantac,
Yeah.
could you list those beers, please? We'll get the CNC to order me a few cases.
Who's the CNC? Craft and Carry?
Something like that. The Cash and Carry or whatever.
Is Bremner's Ghost in the States, New York City, to be precise?
Jimmy?
Because
No.
if you are, they've got some great keg and lantern beers.
There you go. Bandy said, how to manage people. I told you.
Okay, fine, but like, where's the evidence that he doesn't? Where's the evidence that players don't like him, or like, what is the evidence other than maybe like a facial expression that everyone wants to read way too far into?
I mean, I would say the way they play day in and day out.
But sometimes they play great.
Sorry,
So
I got to sidetrack that conversation for the actual conversation that we're having. Lowenbrow is good. Cronenberg gives nasty acid. We've got more beer conversation than Arsenal. Do you get Italian beer like Birra Moretti or Peroni? Yes, we do, and it's terrible.
They're both owned by huge Japanese conglomerates, so
I don't like Peroni at all.
No, it's not. It's nothing. It's all Italian pilsners are based off German lagers anyway. So,
Hegernseer Hell is where it's at. I don't know what that means. Axel, is that a beer?
I think it's possibly misspelled in a way.
Clark's Cash and Carry. Yep.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll ship some over. If any of you guys hit me up personally, and I will FedEx you the brewery I work for.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So Cantac actually works for a really good brewery that we will go to one of these days and do a live show from
as soon as things are
Keg
fully
and
open.
Lantern.
Yeah.
July 1st, fully open in New York.
Can't wait, dude. Trust me.
There
are a few people. There are a few people in the world that can wait for that to happen.
Smooth.
Like,
yeah, we do. What's that? Tea?
So anyway, I don't think there's a lot of evidence that the players don't like Arteta. Like someone, I think Mr. Tom said earlier, I feel like Arteta did that this January. Like he got rid of quite a few players that people thought were malcontents. And now
in the past, the manager would just overhaul the team, but in the EPL, doing that would cost far too much for a manager who is likely to be sacked within 3 years. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And, like, give it more than 6 months. Can we give it it's so instant gratification, especially in this sport, more than any other that I follow with the manager. We'll never. I'm convinced we'll never see. Look at Hansi Flick. 6 trophies last year, and they're out of they're out of the Champions League, and it's on to the next one.
On to the next one, man. Well, he's also moving on to the German national team, right?
Sure,
probably.
But he could have been there for life. You know what I'm saying? With that early success, will we ever see Ferguson again? Will we ever see Wenger again? Will we ever see someone?
You've got Pep.
Pep's going to leave for Spain's.
Oh, you mean someone who will stay at a club?
Yeah, for more than 5 years.
I mean, where does Pep go from here, though?
Spanish national team.
Oh,
like where else? And that's it. And then he retires at the age of fucking 50.
Yeah. No, he goes on and coaches Leeds after Bielsa. Pep comes into
after he takes 30 years off and comes back at the age of 60.
When Bielsa retires at 98. Zach says it said Emery was very introverted and Arteta extroverted, leading to players and higher-ups preferring Arteta as a person by far. Maybe.
Sure. But wouldn't you? Good evening, Arsenal. Like, great. Thanks, Emery. Bye.
Bobby, I've gave up larger alert Christmas. Lost 6 kilograms. Ale is the way for lager.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Lager alert around. We're trying to decipher your comment
Your predictive text.
I've gave up larger alert lager ales. No, lager ales?
About Christmas. Lager about Christmas.
About Christmas. Lost 6 kilos. Good job, man. Ale is the way forward. Is ale lighter than lager? Cantac? I don't know.
I would think they're about the same. It depends. No.
Yeah.
No, ales. I mean, like, you look at a 7% IPA and there's just as many calories.
Yeah, here's your Bayern Munich fan talking to you here.
Yeah, I agree with them 100%.
They should run a competition where a civilian runs Bayern for a year just to see if anyone really could win the league with that team, with them.
I'm in. I called it.
Let's do it.
You all heard it here first. I will do it.
Cantac.
I volunteer.
You're up.
I volunteer.
You're up, man.
Pass the ball to Lewandowski. Go. Everyone run. I agree with Jack.
Athletic had sources in that information for that. It wasn't my opinion. Okay. Well, good. Good on that. Let's hear sources in the dressing room. He says, Martinelli not starting was criminal. Arteta still holding something against him despite the apology. In the absence of Laka and Abba, we needed him to start.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Why did we start when we're trying to go in and manage a team and boss a team around? Like, I felt like they kind of were in the beginning. They kind of went at him. And I was actually pleased with the energy that they had in the beginning. But like I said, they had nobody up front. They had lots of creativity, and they could win a ball and pass. And then there's nothing.
Like, I get playing a false 9 like Odegaard, but we had 2 players that could play a 9. Like, you only do that.
We had a 9. We don't need a false 9.
We could have played Pepe. We could have played Martinelli. It didn't. And then you put Odegaard where Emile Smith-Rowe was and move Emile Smith-Rowe out where he's been the most effective. So with that comment, his apology, was that based off of him saying that he would be healthy for the next match like 2 weeks ago? Did he have to apologize for that? I'm not really sure.
I don't know what the apology is about. Jack, what was the apology about? I've been ignoring Arsenal for a week. I feel
like right before the ESL, Martinelli scored or played well, and someone post match was like, "How do you feel about going in?" And he was like, "Well, I'm healthy. If the boss wants to pick me for the Thursday match, right?"
Yeah.
Hey, he can be.
I don't think so. I don't think he is, Mr. Tom. I don't know.
I mean, he can be. Given a chance. If there was a time for him to be given a chance, it was today.
Yeah. I know. Let's see. Bobby says, I can drink 2 gallons of lager. After 6 pints of ale, I'm done. So it's not a calorie thing; it's a quantity thing.
No, it's a percentage thing, right? Like, ales are usually higher ABV, so if you want to lose weight, I guess you drink less.
Exactly. Right. It was a quantity thing.
Yeah.
I get you. These guys are on about tea in the comments. It's crazy. Shows you how entertaining the Arsenal match was. Yeah. Christopher Clay asked Lolo who would win, Leeds United or 2 Lions? Leeds United. Easy. They would just run around, and they've got more stamina than 2 Lions. I think it's true. And it's 11 of them against 2 Lions. I think they would figure out a way to win. And Lions are probably not very good at soccer.
They also might have just ran into the mouth of the lion over and over again. Like, there's that possibility.
They just jammed
the Lions could have been like, "Oh, we get it. We'll just stand here, and they'll just come and feed us themselves."
And then the Lions vomit up.
Vomit
them up, and you win the game. Yeah. The Lions would clearly be red carded for something.
You would think.
You would think.
Murder.
Let's see. European semifinal is not the time to experiment. Arteta admitted he was giving Martinelli a chance and needed to get him more game time. This was the game. Exactly.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Agreed.
And this was the time where he could have actually gone for goal nonstop and not been in Aubameyang's way or Lacazette's way.
Or
He
really,
could have
or really
been the central figure.
or really needing to worry about tracking back. Right.
Exactly.
He could have been
You
just
had
hanging out in the
everyone else.
center circle until we were going forward. Yeah, it's like I said, man, I'm not Arteta out by any stretch, but it's getting to that point where it's hard to just keep being like, stay the course. Because it's hard to see the fucking course now, you know?
Yeah.
Like the time for being like, I wonder what my formation is long past. It's not an injury thing anymore where you have to be creative, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I get Aubameyang's coming back, Lacazette is gone, but still, with our attacking players, we have enough. Let's stop fucking around and seeing if one person should be up here instead of over here. Yeah. Like, we know who our midfielders are. We've got 2 of them. One is good. One sucks, by the way. And for someone who said he'd rather play in the Premier League and then was like, I'd love to go to Madrid, but in the same thought realized that he'll never play there and was like, but I love Batiste. He got beat all over the fucking field today.
Who are you talking? Ceballos?
Oh, yeah. Beat for pace by the
Well, I mean, his 2 fouls were because he was beat. Both yellow cards were because he was beat.
Yeah. Because he's not fast enough. He's not fast enough to play for Arsenal. He's not fast enough to play for Real Madrid. That's for sure. And so he had an interview this week where he's like, I prefer the Premier League. I think I'm better in the Premier League. Well, guess what?
No,
you started today.
La Liga. He said he preferred La Liga.
Yeah. He feels like he's better in La Liga. He prefers La Liga. And then he's starting, due to a dearth of talent in our midfield.
Yep.
But also, it just fucking owned, I thought. Beat for pace by the dude with Forsyth, what was his name?
Yeah. The guy.
That dude, I mean, who went off with the hamstring, but you could tell why, because he just was running past Ceballos so much.
Yeah.
Exactly. Fuck off, dude. Go away.
So now let me ask you this. So we, as you said, we go down 2 goals in the first half, in the first 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But if we know how important an away goal is, why wouldn't you bring Aubameyang or Martinelli on at halftime? We're already down 2. Down 3 doesn't really matter if we get 1 goal.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Not in a cup competition.
But look, they scored 2 against us with our great defensive lineup.
Yeah, but neither of us really know, despite what was put on Google, what the lineup actually fucking was. The difference between 2-0 and 3-0 going home is big. It's big. Yeah. I mean, you've seen over the years losing the first leg away to Barcelona, Bayern Munich, how many years in a row, and coming up 1 goal short at home. Mm-hmm. And we're not talking about those teams. That's why I think because I also think those 2 goals were slightly against the run of play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were.
And we only need so only needing 1. I think throwing caution to the wind and going for 1. And to be honest, we didn't really necessarily even need 1. We just needed to not let it get worse than 2. To be honest, that's how I feel. Now it's pretty arrogant, sure. But
so why bring him on at all? So then why bring him on at 85 minutes? Why not? If, as we're saying, at 90 plus 5, we brought on the other guys to kind of kill the game, to kill the clock.
2 away goals is pretty nice. Two away goals is pretty nice. You know, but we didn't have
once again, you're giving him 5 minutes.
Yeah, to maybe just steal something. You know, you don't want to.
Which he could have done. He almost did.
Yeah, right. And if he does, are we saying Arteta's a genius?
No.
You know, at that point,
nothing about today says Arteta's a genius.
But if he scores it, aren't we? Aren't we saying it's Arteta's substitution at the very end? I think we are. Most of the time, the manager gets credit for his substitutions. Yeah. And unless the substitution gets a red card immediately, we never say it was a bad substitution, because once they're there, they either score and make the manager look like a genius, or they really kind of are ineffective, and then it's like, okay, they should have picked someone off the bench, and then even then it's just up in the air, 50-50, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Aubameyang scores there, Arteta looks like the fucking mad scientist genius, right? Like flirting with insanity, but gets it done this time.
Yeah. I don't know.
I agree, Mr. Tom. Man. I don't know why we can press some teams, but we can't press others. Villareal looked like they were pressing us.
Slavia
like
Prague one day to the next. Yeah. Opinions on the away goals rule. Yeah, I feel like always said it was a disaster of a rule. Think it's so unfair. The game's fair as it is. The thought of a 3-2 win in the Emirates has me shook already. Stupid rule. I've always thought that. I've always thought if you're gonna play 2 legs, then it should go to extra time in the second leg if you're still. But because why does your goal mean more?
Well, because I think more. Well, okay, so the away goal
score at home.
I mean, it's easier to defend at home. Yes, it's easier to manage a game at home.
But is it really?
Well, with no fans, no. Right? So, like, now more than ever, the away goal, I think, makes no difference. If we're down 2-0 and that they're packed with Villareal fans, it's a lot harder for us to get that second goal.
Yeah.
But then again, so why doesn't going to extra time and eventually penalty kicks give the advantage to the team that has the second leg at home? Right?
Yeah,
You're giving them more time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Mr. Tom is saying right here. Will be a license to park the bus in the first leg.
Yeah. I think it encourages teams to go for it.
It makes things interesting, at least. In pre-COVID, I think you mean the rule made sense, but now not so sure. Yeah, well, I agree with you there.
But like fans are coming back next season. They're gonna let you'd think they're not gonna let fans in for the Euro, and then they're definitely gonna be there for the Euro this summer. And then the Premier League or the English government is going to say that fans can't be in the stands for the Premier League. They're coming back in June and July, and then whatever. It was an 18-month blip.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, we got you covered, Bobby. You're part of the Stoop crew, so we translate your comments. So speaking of which, guys, that's about it for us today. We've talked about as much about this Arsenal match as we can. And we've talked a lot about beer. So don't forget to join us tomorrow night, Friday, for happy hour, where we could talk about beer the whole time because we'll actually be drinking beer. And Cantac hopefully will be back. We'll see about that. But
with or without Hosen.
With or without Hosen. Let's get the last comments up here. You played 90 minutes in both stadiums. Defending is half the game. That Bayern versus PSG game deserved extra time.
Sure.
Possibly.
If Bayern scored a goal,
no point Arsenal getting into Europe. They will be back home before they get the maps out.
Disagree.
Possibly.
Disagree 100%.
What's up, Lolo? The Gunners need to start bussing that cannon soon, bro. Otherwise, they're out. For real. They need to start they need some
scoring.
Power.
They need to start scoring. Yeah.
Scoring. You might win 4-0 in the second leg. However, Unai Emery will be desperate to win. Definitely.
Aren't we all desperate to win?
Well, we'll see how that goes. Don't forget, tomorrow we've got a couple more videos coming out with our weekend watch list. And then Friday night, as always, is happy hour. But for all of our Stoop crew members, we have a new credits video rolling that has all of our Stoop crew, our Stoop starting 11, and our Stoop legends. So if you are a member of the Stoop crew, why not watch for 45 more seconds and you can actually see your name up there. And let me know if I misspelled it or anything like that. But Cantac, thank you very much for talking about this.
My pleasure.
I know we went much longer than expected.
Well, good.
But so good night, everybody. Let me get this all right. There's Zachary Uden popping in a little too late. Yo, what's up, man? We got one Twitch viewer. There we go. We got our Twitch viewer. All right, everybody. So y'all have a good night. Good night, Mr. Tom. Good night, everybody. We will see you guys tomorrow night. Peace.